Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. It's a gorgeous Saturday afternoon here in Lower Alabama, and I'm getting stuff done today. Not pushing it too hard, but I just went to the gym, just got back from the gym a few minutes ago, and I got a little break. I've got a Skype meeting at 2:30. And probably going to do a little bit more writing today and a few things here and there. But it's a weekend, so I don't put too much pressure on myself to produce on the weekends. But anyhow, got a little video, one of our weekend videos today, mindful eating and raw vegan failures. I do videos every day. So if you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate it a lot if you'd hit that subscribe button now. Click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. This was just, I didn't really have I didn't really have a reading today, or I didn't really have anything all that deep or related to meditation on my mind to talk about. So I just thought I'd talk about a couple of subjects here, just express some light thoughts on them on the weekend. Mindful eating, though, it could kind of be thrown in there with the whole mindfulness thing, just the little lessons that I'm learning, from my meditation practice. And I wanted to talk about mindful eating today because I think mindful eating can be a very effective tool. It can be a very effective tool to help you on your raw vegan journey if you want to get to being fully raw, or whatever level you want to get to be on being fully raw, or whatever way you want to eat. Like I say, a lot of my videos, I'm raw vegan. I talk about raw vegan, but I'm not all hung up on, everything's got to be raw vegan. So I hope a lot of these things I talk about are applicable, even if you're not fully raw vegan or trying to be. You could apply the same principle to anything. But if you are struggling on your diet, on what you're eating, on what you're consuming in your body, maybe you need to be a little bit more mindful of it. I was listening to something the other day. I can't remember if it was a guided meditation or just a talk I was listening to, but they were talking about when you're eating. That's basically what mindfulness is just focus, doing one thing at a time and being very mindful of it. Now, I don't struggle on my eating, but this advice, it would be a little tough for me because I usually tune out a little bit. I know you shouldn't, but I usually tune out a little bit when I'm eating. I watch TV, I'm on the computer, I do something, while I'm eating. I'm going to try to change that a little bit and try to spend more time, like when I'm eating my meals, just being more appreciative and sitting there. But from a standpoint, if you've struggled on this lifestyle or whatever, maybe mindful eating can be an effective tool for you. So what I'm getting at, if you've struggled on this lifestyle, maybe you really do need to do that. Maybe you need to pay attention. A lot of times we've kind of become used to, I know I have, that's just the way that's kind of the way just society forms us. Like we mindlessly eat. We have a problem. A lot of times people can, eat not even knowing they're eating because that's just what we've become programmed to do. Maybe we're in a funk, so we just get a bag, hopefully we're not getting a bag of chips, but people don't really pay attention to what they're putting into their mouths. It's just gotten used to, I have a whim. I feel like I need, and it's not even real hunger, but it's like I need a little pleasure. So you just kind of mindlessly pop something into your mouth. I think just the fact that if you kind of set an intention to be mindful, if be mindful of every bite you're going to put in your mouth throughout the day. I talk about writing things down, but like I say, I think a next step would just be, you got to pretty much be mindful to write it down. I'm not saying you're necessarily going to, just because you're being mindful, you're going to write it down, but you kind of get what I'm saying there, that it's sort of the same idea. But just to very much be mindful, not to do something. And no, I guess there is a difference there because, if you're just writing it down, you can just think, okay, this is what I'm about to eat and write it down. You're still not mindfulness as you're eating the food. I think just an appreciation of our food, appreciation how we feel when we're eating right. That's something that we can be really mindful of. So it's not just mindful of each bite that we're putting in our body, but one thing that's helped me a lot is it's just I'm mindful of how I feel. I'm very tuned in and mindful of how I feel when I eat different things, because I like to bring like some experience based content to this channel. So since I eat cooked food from time to time, I try to bring in as much from that as possible, like, and be mindful. Like, how did I feel, after I ate this, or how do I feel when I'm eating at my absolute best? And you'll gain things from being mindful of both of those. If you start really paying attention to each bite you eat, every meal you're eating, and if you're being mindful, really tuning in of how you feel after those meals, and tune into the subtleties, be aware of those subtleties, be very mindful of those subtleties. I think that can kind of reinforce whatever you're trying to do, make it a little bit easier for you. So yeah, I would just say, like I don't have to kind of keep going over and over and over this. If you're having a problem on this lifestyle, or if you're just having a problem on a plant-based lifestyle in general, be mindful of what you're eating. Be mindful of the times of day you're eating. Try to be mindful of as much of your life as possible, even though we're talking about food here. But definitely don't just mindlessly pop food in your mouth. I think when we're mindful and aware of what we're eating, we become a little bit more accountable for it. Like, we're not just mindlessly popping things in. We're like, ooh, And also, when you're mindful, sometimes people think, oh, I'm just eating a bite here and there. But if you're mindful of all those bites here and there, you will be mindful enough to notice that those bites add up. And if it might be something that you're trying to avoid, it might be something that, like nuts or something that's very dense in calories, that you pop one or two in your mouth. You're not paying attention to popping one or two, but over the course of maybe an afternoon, maybe you've popped 15 or 20 into your mouth. So anyhow, just maybe give that a shot, give that a thought if you're not real mindful of how you're eating. And all of us, I think we could just benefit mentally from just sitting down, being a little bit less distracted, and be mindful and just be present with our food from time to time. Second part of the title there, Raw Vegan Failures. As I'm doing this, I'm not sure if I'll put the failures in parentheses, like little italics or not, parentheses or not, because when I see what people are considering raw vegan failures, they're not really failures. The biggest problem that people that are not happy or that have not become fulfilled on the raw vegan lifestyle that I see, the large majority of it, is people are putting too much pressure on themselves about this fanaticism of being fully raw vegan all the time. I've mentioned this in videos countless numbers of times, that I see people all the time that consider themselves a failure, or they've considered they failed on their plan, or they've considered they've fallen off the wagon, or the wheels have come off, any of those euphemisms we want to use. And I'm looking at what they're describing and what they've eaten, and I don't see it. I'm like, it's almost sad. It's sad that you're eating like that. You're getting the results that you've gotten, but you consider yourself a failure because you put a piece of cooked food in your mouth. Now sit back, step out of yourself maybe. If you are one of those people that's like raw is law, it's the end all be all, step back from out of yourself for a minute and view that as an outsider would view that. And view that how crazy that thinking is. Because you put a piece of cooked food in your mouth, you're a failure. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a failure even if you've put something in your mouth that's really not good for us. Because that's just kind of that's negative thinking, and I'm not trying to be a little Pollyanna. Don't think negative. Love yourself. It's just negative thinking is detrimental to what you want to do. It gets you on the roll in there. So a lot of people are just psyching themselves out on this quest for fully raw. I think if people would get off this quest for fully raw, even the people that find that very valuable and do believe I've got to be fully raw, that's the only way to live. I think if you would let some of that pressure off of yourself, just like taking the lid off and letting a little bit of steam blow off when it's about to boil over, you would probably get to that higher version of the raw vegan lifestyle, or you might get to that holy grail of fully raw. Like I say, I can be kind of flip about this sometime, and I am. I mean, it's just like I just don't understand this obsession over this little label, over this little elite club that people want to get in. And like I say, I'm talking about that obsessive part of it. I believe in the raw vegan lifestyle. I have to say that. I have to reiterate it all the time for the new people that are coming here. I'm not throwing shade. I'm not saying anything. I feel my absolute best when I'm being fully raw. There it is. I just lay it on the line like that. But I'm rational. I'm reasonable. I don't flip out if I eat when I decide to eat something cooked. Well, mostly because I eat something cooked if the circumstances dictate it, or if I want it, because I'm eating clean food all the time anyway. So I just can't. My brain just won't go to silliness like that, like getting freaked out over eating a clean piece of cooked food because I'm not fully raw. I won't get the badge. They're not going to accept me in the club. I won't be part of the cool kids. And you know, like I say, it just like you see so many people melt down, and it doesn't have to be like that. Let's put the emphasis back on being healthy. Let's put the emphasis back on eating a clean, plant-based lifestyle. Let's focus on eating as much raw, whole food as possible, fresh, living food as possible. But just don't make it the absolute end-all, be-all of your sanity, your happiness, your well-being, because that's probably that stress over not being fully raw or not being as raw as you want to be is probably way worse on you than any of the things that you might be eating that you're not happy about. So anyhow, just my kind of rambling weekend video. Hope you liked it. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.